Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hoon Dok Hae, together with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today is Friday, the 3rd of June, or the 5th of May, in the 10th year of Chong Book. Let's begin with a bow to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chariot, Kyombe, Haro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족맨세 5. 천국 주인 우리 가족은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주제적 전산세계와 대산적 지산세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chongyulguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Reverend Kenji if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Please join me in prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parent and victorious beloved true parents of heavens and humankind, today is the 5th of the 5th month, 10th year of Chongyulguk. We gather together for the Oceania morning devotion centering on Reverend Yutaka, and we are so grateful that we have been creating the platform for the all brothers and sisters of the all Oceania to participate and together to start the new day with the inspiration and also the sharing of our beloved brothers and sisters, the experiences and the thought. And Heavenly Parents, we would like to ask you for your presence and guidance in this the morning devotion, so that we can truly able to energize ourselves to be able to start a new day. And tomorrow we are going to have the online witnessing workshop, and we are really looking forward to participating, and let us really align with the true mothers, the intention, so that we can maximize the time and effort to be able to return the joy to you. And once again, thank you for the time to gather together to participate in the morning devotion this morning, and please guide from beginning to the end. I report all those things in the name of Kenji Watanabe, in the name of Blessed Family, on behalf of brothers and sisters gathering together here. Aju.
Thank you, and let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining this morning Hoon Dok Hae. Nearly 1 week is going quickly. How was this week? Do you have an exciting time? Today also a beautiful day. Let's create the beautiful time together with our all brothers and sisters. And also, weather is always changing. Please take care of your health always. This is really important. Please take care well. So tomorrow we will have a witnessing online education workshop, 9:30 a.m. Sydney time. So this education was held last week, centering on the Australian second generation, but this time we will share together in the Australia and all nations of Oceania. So through sharing the lecture and the discussion together, then we can develop our movement of witnessing. Maybe some of you have already experienced a professional witnesser in your life, right? Invited many people. And some second gen or some young people or some of you is first time to do the witnessing. That's why this workshop is kind of the reminding and really emphasizing again and again. Because last April, Yamada in Korea, they emphasize again how we can testify and how we can witness and how we can also guiding our second generation and third generation. That's why this is very important essence. When we read our mother's autobiography, mother's anthology, or even through father's word, message is really simple and clear. How we can let them know, let them understand our heavenly parents, how we can share the blessing to the people. That's why even we do any kind of activity, but the final goal or the reason to do the activity is to save the people, share the blessing, and testify our heavenly parents and true parents. That's why tomorrow we will do the online activities. That's why please join well, and we can also study and learn together. Okay. Anyway, we have also, this is our recorded video. We can share even after that. So please contact with your leader. But tomorrow, because gather together to discuss together, this is a good point. So I hope you to join together and discuss well. Even the short time period to announce, but continuously we share and really remind and study well. So let's do our best. Okay. So today also to have Hoon Dok Hae, global unity through true parents. Now we are sharing that to Mother's word, and Mother is talking about her message in Europe. So Christian history and each nation of Europe history we are talking about. When we see the history of Europe, we could see the many kind of the conflict, or there are many kind of war. So among that kind of environment, how each nation can accept Christianity and how they God guided Christianity to God guided each nation to expand the Christianity to the world. And now how Christianity can accept our true parents. And Mother mentioning that we have to multiply our true olive tree. When we give happiness, when we share the happiness to others, actually this is the most happiness moment for each of us also. That's why we can share our blessing, we can share our happiness to others, and we can share our heavenly parents and true parents' will to the people. So let's read the next part. Please read.
This is my third visit to this country. Korea in the 1960s was in a terrible state, much worse than today's Albania, because it was right after the war. At that time, True Father started the New Mind, New Life campaign and the New Community movement on a national scale. He mobilized the youth to lead the Enlightenment movement by bringing them together and making them take part in such activities as the eradication of illiteracy. By thus giving the people hopes and dreams, he put his teachings into practice, one idea at a time.
Yes, so thank you very much. Now, Mother is talking about Albania. So now when we see the Europe history of Providence, Albania is one of the main country of our Providence and really developing a lot, even Muslim country, but they are witnessing the many people is connected. So among you, have you been to Albania? Not so much? Yes. So this message was given in 2006. So in the beginning, and maybe I'm not sure currently what kind of situation in externally. So even society or even national development is not so much high, but Mother is mentioned that even in 1960, after World War II or Korean War, Korea itself, this nation situation was really destroyed and not developed yet. But after that, there is a Semaul Undo. Have you heard about the Semaul movement? So this is a very famous movement in Korea. Even in the Korean people's level, everyone knows this movement, Semaul movement. new village movement. So actually, Korean government is using this word, the Semaul, new village movement, but this was started by our true parents. Se is new and Maul is village. But father did Semaul. I think I explained before. Semaum meaning is new heart. Semaul is new village. That's why father organized new heart, new mind, and new village movement. But government recognized this influence and this necessity in Korean society. That's why Korean government accepted this one and to use this name for the nationwide development. So through this commitment or investment, the Korean people invested a lot and effort a lot. Then we could see the deep development in Korean society now. That's why Mada also mentioning that even your nation looks like externally not easy yet, but if you have a strong vision and idea, like Korea, your nation can develop also. Okay, please read.
I have taken this opportunity to speak to you at this time because I hope that you, ambassadors for peace, will play a central role in the work of purifying everything in your surroundings and take the lead in developing this nation with new dreams in your hearts.
Yes. So how we can share our vision and heart to the central figure or really the top person in each nation. Then let them stand and also commit. Through this determination, the nation will be developing. Please read.
A good fruit is one that is fully ripe and plump. In making your country more prosperous and powerful, the economic aspect is important, but what is more important is the internal aspect. Your minds need to be stronger. If you follow True Father's words, you can make this country prosperous and powerful in only a few years. In the beginning time in Korea, we had less than 100 active members. There are 300 people gathered here today, and that means that you can make this country 3 times more prosperous in 10 years. I hope that you will all do your best.
Yes, so Semaul, the new heart, new mind, new village movement, new community movement. Through this movement, we can create the even new nation. So Mada is talking to European nation or Albania, but this message also can be conducted to our each nations of Oceania. How our nation, we can develop our nations internally, also externally. New heart movement and new community movement. This our commitment and our education and our really showing the vision to the leader is really essential. Now, when we see the Oceania nation or Pacific area, we could see many, realistically, we are facing many challenging. So every day we are sharing this topic, how we can unite together, protect our nation of Oceania or Pacific, right? That's why really we have to lead this movement. So I really wish you to involve and really determine more, because we could see that challenging, we could see the limitation, and we have many kind of father's word or mother's word, how we can guide the leader of the society and nation. So what do we need? We need the people who will lead together. So this is really essential, our 14 nation of Oceania, how we can unite and how really share this message to the leader. So always this point, we have to go together. So UPF can take a role, and UPF or Women's Federation should have this kind of role, but in the same time, how we can connect with our social organization and also even including the government. Then as the Oceania, as a Pacific nation, we can find a way to stand well toward the bigger nations. So through this message, really, honestly, when we see the each nation, we can see the many potential, right? we can see many potential, many possibility. That's why just we lack of manpower or really foundation, but actually we can see the many possibility or potential, how we can reach and really open the gate, open the way, and reach those kind of the prepared person or John the Baptist figure in each place. That's why through Johnson and through strategy and through creating the really connection or environment, really we can see the next step. So always we have to pray for our 14 nation, how we can unite together as one nation and also contribute for the world providence. So until this page, Mada is mentioning about Europe. So now Mada is mentioning about Korea, America, Asia, and also Europe. So even in each nation, there is different or special expectation of our true Mada, but main key point is same. All our brothers and sisters, blessed family, second generation, please stand up and let's share God's blessing to our brother and sisters. So this message is always, key message is same. So let's connect with well. So next place is Africa. So let's see Africa. Please read.
White bar.
Just a minute. Okay.
Yes. You are in a position where you have received the marriage blessing and become true olive trees, so you should not sit still. Instead, you should grow and multiply. You need to fulfill the mission of tribal messiahs. You need to make every effort to let others know of true parents. How wonderful it would be if wild olive trees could become true olive trees, and if all wild olive trees in the world could be transformed into true olive trees at once.
Yes, thank you very much. Once we become the olive tree, true olive tree, then what is next? We have to multiply this true olive tree to others. So in the beginning, we need the effort or power to multiply to one more new olive tree, two more new olive tree, three more new olive tree. But if we create this movement in our place, 3, 7, 12, 43, and 120, then this atmosphere, this power or this speed is getting faster and faster and faster. So Mother said, you need to make every effort to let others know of true parents. How wonderful it would be if wild olive trees could become true olive trees, and if all wild olive trees in the world could be transformed into true olive trees at once. So let's imagine this moment, all in the world, all wild olive tree will be transforming to the true olive tree. When we see the 6,000 history, human history, God tried to find even one true olive tree, but takes so much time, effort, and really shared or patient in order to find one true olive tree. But how about now? Now they are easy to multiply 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. Now already change the time. If we multiply one true olive tree, meaning is already we did the bigger effort than maybe our God. Is it correct? So really not easy things for God himself. Even try to one olive tree, it takes 6,000 years. But now already era was changing. We can multiply. That's why how we can put and how we can share. So now we are living in the special historical era. We should not miss this opportunity. Please read.
You all wish to live in a more advanced country, a wealthier country, don't you? From God's viewpoint, however, you are better qualified to go to the kingdom of heaven. A person who owns much in this world needs time to get rid of it all. On the other hand, when it rains in the desert, all the water is absorbed. You can absorb all these teachings and multiply more quickly than the people in more advanced nations. What I mean is that you can realize the will faster than others because you are in a position of innocence. You should dream big.
Yes, thank you. So Mada gave this message in Kenya, 2007 in Africa. So maybe when we see ourselves, maybe when we see our nations, we passed similar process from the early time and also current situation. So when we see our national situation or our even family situation, the poor time or rich time, actually, which time is better for ourselves? Of course, rich time is good, but if serious or really poor time or difficult, challenging time, then people become more serious. People really more passionate and try to find a way. But now each nation is getting better and better and better. The problem of the nation is changing. The developing country or developed country, the challenging point or social matter or problem is different. The developing country, maybe their challenging is how they can find the food, how they can go to school, and how can settle down their family environment or their social basic environment. But each person try to find a way, passionate, and they do effort. We could see those things. But when we see the developed country, what's the problem in developed country now? There are a lot of food and no worry to live on this place, in the house, in the nation or society. That's why there is another problem. When we see Japan case, now also many young people, of course not everyone, but lost the hope, doesn't want to study, just stay in the house whole day, and also just doing the game until 30 years old, 40 years old. Those young people also increasing. They don't know how to meet the people, how to deal the people, just to stay, and no purpose, no passion, and no desire. So there is many those kind of young people, even some suicide rate is also developing. I'm not sure how about Australia or how about your nations. The young people, they are study well, they are living well, but we can see this the problem or social problem is really changing from the developing country and the developed country. That's why how really we can consider so even difficult country or even developing country. But Mother said we have a strong hope, vision. We can change the people. We can change the society. So when we spend time in Philippines, of course my wife is Philippine. That time my wife also joined our movement through Toin Mudo. So when they organize the Toin Mudo, many young people want to come and join and also learn the divine principle. When I did in witnessing in Nepal, I'm not sure how much developed now, but 10 years ago, when I did the witnessing in university, and when we share the event, today, 5 p.m., we have a witnessing, we have a special event for you. So can you come to our event? Then the university student was so much inspired. Even 2 hours before, they come to our center and they spend the time with us. So every day come and joining together and discussion and really learn together. So really we could see pure and that really we can see the excitement. But how about now in the developed country, how we can guide the people? People is so much busy and every time doing the cell phone and the computer, their environment is changing. That's why if externally we have a happiness and we have to think, really internally we are happy also or not. That's why Mother said, you can absorb all these teachings and multiply more quickly than the people in more advanced nations. What I mean is that you can realize the will faster than other because you are in a position of innocence. You should dream big. So really Mother is mentioning these things. Please read.
This is my 4th tour of Africa, and this is the very time when you blessed families should be fulfilling your responsibilities. Though you may not own much externally, You possess a lot internally. You have now reached maturity. The time has come for you to carry out the New Mind, New Life campaign and the New Community movement. Each and every one of you should have a sense of ownership and work hard with the thought, this is my country. You should have big dreams. You are now different people. You need to become true olive trees and sow seeds. I hope that Kenya will become an internally advanced country.
Yes, so this is Mother is talking to Kenya, but through this message, we could recognize what's the really heaven's wish to each nations. So Mother said, the time has come for you to carry out the New Mind, New Life campaign and the New Community movement. Each and every one of you should have a sense of ownership and work hard with the thought, this is my country. That's why we should not think only myself, or we should not think only my family life. This nation is my country. I am the one who take responsibility of this nation, and I will share this true olive tree to others and to share this blessing to all over the nation. So this determination is needed. So whoever or wherever or even any country we are living, but we should have this kind of mind. This nation is my country. Even they don't recognize, even political leader doesn't recognize, even society people doesn't recognize, but I am the one who will take responsibility of this nation, and I will do that. Even nobody do. This kind of commitment and determination and ownership is needed. That's why we should have this mindset and really share this blessing to our nations. So really, this is the beautiful message. Thank you, our Mother. And now we will read also the Cheonsongyeon word. So in Cheonsongyeon, now our Father is mentioning about God, how God can appear in front of us. God created men and women, and God tried to show through Adam and Eve's body. So mind and body, and male and female. God is the dual characteristics of men and women, male and female, masculinity and femininity. That's why through unity between men and women, God can appear his nature and his heart. So let's read this part. Please read.
Had Adam and Eve not fallen, God would have dwelt in their hearts. Adam and Eve would have become a couple externally, and God in Adam and God in Eve would have been a couple internally. When children were born through their bodies united completely with God inside and out, whose children would they be? They would have been the children of the external God, and at the same time the children of the internal God. 1 Corinthians 3:16 says, do you not know that you are God's temple, and that God's Spirit dwells in you? We human beings are God's temples. It means that God's Holy Spirit dwells in us. When we are in this position, God is our direct Father. The fact that we are not like this is a result of the fall.
Yes, so Father said, had Adam and Eve not fallen, God would have dwelled in their hearts. Adam and Eve would have been a couple externally, and God in Adam and God in Eve would have been a couple internally. So this is the original nature and original purpose and original way of God's will. So Adam and Eve and God, when they totally unite together, and God come down to our mind and totally united, that our body become the holy temple. That's why unity between men and women, husband and wife, how much this is important. Then our body become the holy temple. So let's see our relationship, and always we are talking about unity between husband and wife, because anyway, God is like this. God is the united body between men and women. That's why we have to learn and we have to follow that. So when we see our relationship between husband and wife, we have to think always. So many people say there is differences between Eastern society and Western society. And we know Western society, Western people, easy to express their heart. In Eastern society, it's not easy to express your heart. Is that correct? I'm not sure. Oceania is which side? Eastern side or Western side? A mixed side? So, for example, I love you. This kind of word expressed to others. Do you like or easy to say, or every time you are talking, I love you to others, or not so much? Maybe Japanese culture, not so much, doesn't express so much. Even I love, but keep in mind and softly say, yeah, but not so much every day say, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's why when I get blessing with my spouse, she more Filipino, she more express, and she asked me to express more and more. So already I trained. So I already say every time I love you, and hugging, kissing, like this. So how about your couple relationship? How much are you telling to your spouse? Every day are you express to your spouse, husband, wife, I love you every morning or every night? Are you sharing like this? Or how often you are hugging? Hugging also important. Every day, are you hugging to your husband or are you hugging your wife? Please hug deeply, even 1 minute every day. Then you can feel your husband's heart and their wife's heart. Even also kissing is also important between husband and wife. Of course, maybe we can easy to say to friend, but important things is also in the family, husband, wife, or parents and child. Every time they hug each other, even hug our children, hug our parents, and they tell, thank you, your life. Thank you for your existence. Every time appreciate, thank you, your whole day, hardworking. Looks like this is simple, but without expression, people could not recognize. Of course, everyone have heart. I'm appreciating my husband. I'm appreciating my wife. I'm appreciating my children always. But if you don't express, people cannot feel. And if you express, you know how much happy, how much feel good. That's why every moment, every morning or nighttime, you have to say, you have to express. Also, I was trained through my wife, and really I realized this importance. So really hug well and express your love and appreciation and kissing. Through these things, ourselves, our relationship getting better and better. Then when we hug our husband and wife, then can ask God, God, are you happy now? We are totally united. Are you happy to come down, or still you are struggling, right? You can invite God and they are united together. So this expression and this really process is important. So this is the last slide. Please read.
The human body is God's holy temple. It is God's dwelling place. You will know this when you enter a mystical state and call out, God, and he replies, here I am, from within you. When you ask in this way, the answer comes not from the sky, but from your heart. Originally, had Adam and Eve not fallen, God would have dwelt deep in the core of their hearts and guided them. That is why the Bible says, whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name.
Yes, so thank you very much. We should communicate and talk with God all the moment, and we should feel God all the moment, and we should tell God, God, where are you? Then God will answer, I am here inside of your heart. So how often are we calling God and really asking God and feeling and listening God's voice and God's word? Through communication, we can unite with God. Through communication, we can understand God's heart, and through communication, we can understand God's wishes. So today, we are sharing about Mother's Word and Mother's Word. Message is same. How we can really understand, how we can unite with God's hope, God's really wishes, and how we can share those messages to the people as the owner of our family, as the owner of our society, and as owner of our nations. So if people see us, and if people can say, through you, I can see God. Through you, I can understand who true parents are. This is our way, and this is our sharing, and this is our movement. So really every time, let's welcome our heavenly parents to in our family and in our place, in our community, and really share the blessing to our brother and sisters. So through today's message, if you can share some experience through our couple, or through experience God through our family, our couple, or if you have experienced the excitement through witnessing, then this becomes a good sharing. So anyway, today is a beautiful day. Let's have a great time, share the great blessing. Let's offer the happiness to our heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing and helping us really bring our true mother's words to life, and to make it really apply to us. I was a couple of things as I was listening that caught my attention. When right in the beginning, when you're talking about the new heart, new mind, new community, the new village movement, that our home really is the village. I was thinking about, it's not just only our own family. Our relationships involve the people around us, and the realization that a number of things that our father and mother started. Our father started the new village movement in Korea. Actually did go national level. It did become a national treasure itself, and Korea recognizes that was one of the ways that Korea was able to grow, if not the main way that it was able to grow so quickly after the war, to become really a prosperous nation, is because of the new village movement, and with its primary purpose to eradicate illiteracy, and because people that understand can really do things, and that's what I think is really needed in the island nations. Still too many of the island nations, the people are illiterate, and it's great that Solomons has a school, and it's good to be able to create more schools. Another thing that I was struck by was he who owns much needs to get rid of it. We have so many possessions. To be able to come to God, we need to get rid of our baggage, and that reminded me of the quote in the Bible where and it's something I discussed the other day with Reverend Yutaka and Ken. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. That sort of quote, I just put up a link in the chat relating to the fact that maybe people know, maybe people don't, but the eye of a needle, it refers to a gate in Jerusalem, in which the gate was just a small opening, and the camel had to have all of its load taken off, and then it had to stoop and be guided through this small opening to get in. So unlike thinking it's impossible, can never happen to go through an eye of a needle, if you think of a literal needle, but if you realize it's a small gate, but the camel has to be stripped down. And it was reminded me, we have to needs to get rid of everything we own, all the possessions. And it reminded me of one of the things I did before meeting our movement and joining. I got fed up when I was younger with all possessions. So when I was obsessed with music, and I had thousands of records, and I decided to get rid of everything and travel. And so I got rid of everything I owned and just had a backpack and started traveling, and then met the movement. And it was so refreshing to get rid of everything, and then just focus on finding what is true and good, and the true and good thing that I found was the blessing and my wonderful wife, who is always looking after me, and I hope she feels that I look after her. So those are the things that I was thinking of today. So thank you, and like to open it up to others. Okay, thank you. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Yes, good morning, everyone. When Mother was reading about the Father's work with the New Village movement, I just remember a speech that I read about that. It was a 1978 speech that Father gave. It's recorded in the Pyonghwa Gyeong. And I put that in the chat, the actual reference in the page numbers in Pyonghwa Gyeong. But as Reverend Yutaka mentioned, and Father said the new village movement in this speech. He says, new village movement is a movement to enable the body to live well. And the new mind movement is a movement to enable the spirit to live well. The backbone of this new mind movement is the spirit of loyalty and filial piety. If the new mind movement spreads throughout the world will learn the true spirit of loyalty and filial piety. However, this new mind movement has to progress to the next level. The movement that we ultimately should begin is the new love movement. The focus of the new love movement is to love God as our parent and to love our neighbors as ourselves. The crown of love is sacrifice. So anyway, it's sort of like a formation, growth, completion stage. The Father explains about this. And anyway, just Reverend Jong Dok Yu and Reverend Dong-U Kim really focused a lot on the New Village movement in, first of all, Solomon Islands, and invested a lot of work there. And then moved to Vanuatu. And they brought several community leaders, political leaders to Korea, to the New Village movement headquarters there. And then they even had some of the New Village movement people come out and help with a coffee program in Vanuatu. But as Reverend John says, the Pacific nations are very underdeveloped in certain areas, and this is an open strategy which we can use. But Father's version of that strategy: New Village movement, New Mind movement, New Love movement. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Yes. No. Go ahead.
Good morning. I just wonder whether that New Village movement model can be used in low decile suburban areas and, in developed countries. Is it possible? I don't know. I'd like to look more into that. To see if it can be modeled. Yeah, can be a model within our own countries and certain areas. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that it can. I'm sure it can be. used in many areas that need, to help people, develop together. Because I think one of the strategies with the New Village movement that Father used was to inspire university students to go to the remote areas to provide education and skills, and to actually show it in practice, so that the people receiving the education would know how to apply it. So you need the education skills and the technical skills to help improve an area. So just picking on the desired aspect that community needs, and that's why Reverend Greg mentioned about starting the coffee business in Vanuatu, is helping them to become self-sufficient and therefore look after themselves, and that gives them pride and gives them a purpose, and therefore helps to improve and develop. So it is possible to do, not just can be used in developed countries in the right need areas. Thanks. Go ahead, Kenji.
Good morning, Yutaka and our leaders and the brothers and sisters. The Semaul Undon is the one of the very the favorite topic for me. When I was in Fiji, I was the one who inquire about the Semaul Undon, as true father was the talking about it, especially the formation stage of the nation building in Korea. And even I started the researching the farmland with our Embassy of Peace in Fiji, and getting some brochure from the Korean embassy. Anyway, when I asked the Dr. Kim at the time, when he was the continental leader, he was not showing the interest, but later on, he came to know about the importance of the Semaul Undon, and then started, and he's got the a strong pipe with the government, and then he could show the way to develop. But I think what I heard was that later on, Korean government really took over the whole things in Vanuatu, and it was not really good end. And anyway, point was that as now inquire about the how it's going to apply in the developed countries, that that's exactly what the so we are doing, heavily tribal science. Actually, essence of the Semaul Undon is the getting involved the local leaders, local government officials, and all stakeholders of the society need to get involved in the village building, nation building, and some support from the government. But the owner of the movement is the people who are there, not the central government. So in the probably our term, kind of Chonban Kyoppa. I forgot the name. Reverend Yutaka, what?
Chonban Kyoppa.
Yeah. Chonban Kyoppa. So so without the leaving the any place, we go everywhere to share the vision, and getting the government officials involved. That's the point of the Semaul movement, And that's also really applied to our Hebrew tribal messiahs. So yeah, actually we are trying to do the things. So yeah, that's I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And now you got your hand up again.
Shortly, my idea of mentioning that was, yeah, partly to give service to the community, but also as part of a tribal messiah work, like, you know, you can use it to create your tribe by creating an activity, especially where it's needed. Yeah, that was the idea. That's my thought anyway behind it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Catherine, go ahead.
Good morning. Last Wednesday, I joined a prayer group, which is a Christian prayer group. And from next Wednesday to Saturday, they're doing a 72-hour prayer for the whole of New Zealand, starting from the north of New Zealand and working through all the political areas. What do you call them? Anyway, right down to the South Island. So that night, I joined the prayer group, and there was a lady actually from England as well, not just New Zealand. And I hadn't been on this group at all, so I didn't know what the prayers were like. So we were on there from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. And what they were doing, we split into groups. And what they did was, there was a leader in each group, and they took notes of what we were praying about. And then they went back and discussed it. So the group was always, they were talking in tongues, and I thought, oh my goodness, what have I got here? I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to pray like this. I'm just going to pray. You know, when my turn comes, I waited for them all to pray first, and just to try and get the gist of what they're praying about. They're praying for nothing substantial. They're praying for just how it would come. So when I prayed, you know, Heavenly Father, you had a plan for this country. You had a plan when you created this world. And obviously this world is not what you planned for. It's, you know, something's gone really wrong, and we've got to get back to your original ideal. So we're your true sons and daughters. We're your true sons and daughters. And we've got to, I used Mother's words, how she was wanting the leaders, the politicians, to have ethical values, good moral character, and also go by their conscience. And I used, they were always quoting parts of the Bible as well. So I used, you know, how Jesus said that we have to love one another, love God first, and how God's been left completely out of the rules and regulations and the laws they're making in this country. We have to bring God back in. We want you to be here, Heavenly Father. And I don't know how long I prayed for. I just carried on praying like this. And in the end, they changed their tunes and praying. We were on praying for an hour, and the leader changed his, he no longer prayed in tongues. He was and then he started praying the same way that I was praying, and the others started praying that way also. So it was really, we have got such tremendous influence on the people. We don't realize our value of what we've got until we go to somebody, you know, join in a group. So I'm joining in the 72-hour prayer, and my prayer is at 4 o'clock in the morning one morning. So I would join in and just pray, because it's really, and I have also found that the Christian ministers, there's a group of them in Auckland, are trying to unite together. And it's not just it's not one group, it's the Catholic, the Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, the Pentecostals. They're all trying to work together in unity. So they've all got Mother's book as well. So, and praying for each one of them, so that because they have a position of responsibility. Mother said, we've got to get this word out. We've got to know true parents. So we've got to really, so that's what I'm doing in my little way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great. Thank you. We have Abel, and then Reverend Ito after. Go ahead, Abel.
morning, Reverend Dagas and leaders, brothers and sisters. Yeah, just when we talk about the Semol Hoon Dok, and I remember back in 2010, the program was really a success here in Vanuatu, especially in Dana Island, and most of the people were really connected to that project, and it really works very good. And the only way that it fails again is that because of the connection. But yes, everyone, especially here in Vanuatu, in Dana, most of the people, they know about this program, and it's quite a big program here. Most of the communities, they really understand what Semol Hoon Dok is about. And it's really like, for these past years, I've seen that it really helps the communities. As now, yesterday we received before yesterday we had China foreign minister here in Vanuatu, and they have some MOU with the government of Vanuatu, and they have some secret. We have found out that they have some thing going on with our government here, but just want to encourage this program. It's Semol Hoon Dok program. It's really important to the people of Vanuatu. So yeah, it's quite good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Reverend Issa.
Yeah, as far as Semol Hoon Dok, I also visited at the time and together with the Oceania leader for the headquarters of the place and Semol Hoon Dok in Korea. My understanding is to sustainable, successful project for this, not only from our side, grassroots level movement, but need also strong national leadership. Why that Hoon Dok is this movement is successful in Korea? Because there's a strong presence, just like a Park Chung-hee. Park Chung-hee is a strong leader, utilize this movement for the national level, But if leader is not interesting, even if we do from grassroots level, but present in the government not interesting, this cannot be very sustainable. So need, also at the same time, we need to successful this project, sustainable, we need a strong leadership for let them know, let president or government, make more interesting. This is also what we see the case of in Korea. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your comments. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen and let's pray together. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Have victory. Bye.